Hi there, this is Phil Simborg, and I think I've introduced many of you before to Paskogammon. This is the setup. It's a game I invented uh, and named it after Jim Pasco because he's a good friend and one of the best backgammon players I know, and a damn good backgammon player generally. And Jim has played this game hundreds of times from both sides and can beat Extreme Gammon, and will bet that he can beat Extreme Gammon from either side. So how does the game work? Reds on roll, doubles count. You play it like a normal money game. We've also played it for matches. We had a match Paskogammon tournament at Jim's house with some very fine players, some of the best players in the world. And by the way, the finals were Mochi versus Victor Ashkenazi. That shows you that Paskogammon's a game of real skill. The number one and two ranked players, according to the BMAB in the world, made the finals. And instead of playing each other, they played Jim Pasco. So it was interesting. And I think it was real close, but they may have together as a team barely beat Jim in the finals at Jim's house. Anyway, it's a fun game. Great way to practice back game. Great way to practice just overall. And you're finding a lot of top players around the world when they sit down and play for money. They're playing Paskogammon now. It just it makes you start thinking from the opening move. How would you play an opening 6-2, 3-1, 4-3? Nobody knows. In Extreme Gammon, we certainly can't count on. And Extreme Gammon certainly doesn't get the cube right early in the game. By the way, just to show you from the start, it shows as red on roll here as a pretty good favorite. Let's see what Extreme Gammon says. And in fact, it often doubles very soon as red if things go just a little bit right. And it doubles obviously way too soon because it can't lose its market. Blue's going to take this cube for a long time, and it's silly to double too soon. But this is one of the areas where Extreme Gammon isn't necessarily that sophisticated or as good as humans. But for example, it shows red as a 56% favorite here. That's why when we play, you take turns starting as red or starting as blue. And make sure you play an even number of games if you can, unless it's a match. Okay, so I'm going to just have some fun and play against Extreme Gammon. Set up, play from position. I think I'll play red this time. I play red half the time and blue half the time to get practice. And let's just see what happens. It's kind of fun to watch. Kind of a fun game to play, of course. And of course, I don't promise you my PR is going to be under 40, but I'm going to have some fun with it. So hit OK. I'm going to make the screen larger to make it easier for you to see. And let's just see how the game evolves. 4-2. I'm going to hit 2. Often red ends up being the back game player, but with that kind of an opening and so on, it might be something I have to go forward. Double sixes is certainly going to make me go forward and not allow me to try and get into a back game. I certainly don't like playing against a well-timed back game that blue has here. I don't know how I'm going to bring this home, but I'm going to keep trying and see what happens. I like blue's position here very much. You know what? Let's find out. How often do you think red wins this game and blue wins this game? Red's on roll. That's a fun exercise too. And by the way, that's a fun thing to bet on. Bet $5 just for the fun of it with whoever you're playing, and check out the equities. It'll help you understand these kinds of games, and these kinds of games happen. So my guess is blue's a favorite to win here. I would say blue is I would say 58%. And Gammon's, oh boy, I'm not even going to try, but it's not a bad idea to try. All right, I say blue wins 58% and gets Gammon because it wins so much. The Gammons aren't so high. I'd say 25%. Let's just see how close I am for the hell of it. Okay, Control Alt N, and let's go back to let's go right now. Let's go to cube and pretend that red is doubling, and let's see what the equities are. Oh, I have to hit the... Okay, I guess blue wins 58%, blue wins 53%. I guess that he gets Gammon 20%. I wasn't off too much here. Here I was pretty close, 23%. So I was off by 5% here and 1.5% here. That's not too bad. And the more you do these kinds of estimates, the better you're going to get at these. I'm not sure that I'm not at all embarrassed to be where I was on these estimates. Not too bad. Yeah, but blue doesn't win quite as much as I thought. But Gammons, I was pretty close. I should have mentioned that the Gammon's on the other side. I would have guessed 11.63, so I would have been off by 1/10 of 1%. And if you believe that, okay, Control Alt F, red rolls, and Do you make the ace point? That's against my religion in these positions. So I'm going to just clear the back point. You can check with XG on these, and XG isn't bad. I mean, I don't think XG would have made the ace point there. Let's find out. That's another interesting thing. Let's go back and look at my 6-5. It would not have made the ace point. It's way down here, making the ace point, but it would have volunteered at this point, saying, okay, before blues develop, now's a good time to get off that point and try to go forward. My play, I'm not embarrassed, is .028. Let's put it in plus plus and get a higher level reading on this. And by the way, I've learned that from the top players in the world. Anytime they're wrong, they go to a higher level of analysis, and then they do a rollout, and they keep going until they might turn out to be right, and then they finally give up when they finally have to admit they're wrong. But sometimes the higher level of analysis does make it better. So far, my error is less than it was before, but we haven't finished it yet, and the final reading is about the same. It's about a 2% error. Not too bad. Making 2% errors in these kinds of games is not bad at all, especially at my level of play. I'm not up there with Mochi. Okay, Control Alt F and run them. 6-5. Well, I think I learned something last time, even though I'm still not going to the ace point and throwing checkers away. He's hitting. And slotting? I'm right. Hitting and slotting. That's what I would have done. He doesn't mind getting hit, and he'd like to make that point. Okay. 1-6 isn't much. Should I be doubling here? Would you double here? Not me. Not if I think blue is favored. I still think he is. And the big thing here is, how do you lose your market? No matter what I roll, he's taking next time. So that's what's silly to double, I think. All right. Let's clean up on aisle 3. Hope he doesn't roll a 1. Good. Makes the 1 point is all over. Now 6-4. The 6 is forced. So I always do the forced play first. And the 4, I don't see a point in leaving another shot. I don't really need another cover. Why don't I clear up this blot? He doesn't roll a 1. All right, he didn't. I could get lucky and win some gammons here, but again, how many people in the world would drop this cube? And how do I lose my market? So I don't think it's a double, but I don't want to look, because what if I'm wrong? It will alert me to double next time, and that would be cheating. So I'm going to be just make a commitment here that I don't have a double. But well, I was going to play the game about estimating wins and gammons again, but again, that would force me to look, and that would alert me that maybe I'm missing a double, and maybe I should be doubling. But again, I don't think this is a double. I don't think in a money game here that there's any way that you lose your market. In fact, when we look at it later, this might be a beaver. I think blue is still favored. His gammons went up. His gammons are probably closer to 32%, and his wins have also gone up. Maybe they are closer to 60%. I think this would be a beaver, come to think of it. That's how bad a double I think it would be. So we'll check it in a minute. I'm going to roll 3-1. Again, the 3 is forced, and I may as well bring a checker in. Well, all of it was forced. Good. XG played it for me. Still no double. 5 and 4. This is getting tougher. Again, I'm not happy to be in this position as red. I don't like throwing checkers to the ace point. I could bring 2 checkers in, and that's probably the right play. I want to just bring them in. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to throw checkers to the ace point. I'm not going to delay. I'm just going to bring them in and hope to get lucky. So that's my play. All right, moment of truth. Double shot city. Looks like there's only 1 4. So you take the 4 first, and that makes the 5 easy. I'm not going to leave quadruple dipple, double dipples, and go to here. And he didn't hit me. Okay, now is it a double? Now I'm almost clear. Again, the first question I always ask is Woolsey's Law. If I'm my opponent, would I take or pass? And the answer here to me is clear that it's a take. Now, is it a take? Could it still be a double? Uh, yeah, if I lose my market, how do I lose my market? I don't see any possible way to lose my market. Huh. No, I think this is still a beaver, actually. I think this is still a beaver, in spite of the fact that blue has lost his 6 point, which really makes it much more delicious for red. But I'm not doubling. Okay, we'll find out later. Yeah, I'm leaving enough shots here to where now he hits 2. All right, he's going to play a containment game. My
Double.
pretty much for. Oh, he's doubling me. How interesting is that? Wow. Well, uh, this is a fun one. Would you take or pass? This is for money. I'm playing for, in my mind, I'm playing for $10,000 a point here. I want to make it fun, don't I? I want to make it interesting. Of course, if I have $10,000 a point, why not take? Because I can't afford to pay if I lose anyway. So I've got nothing to lose if I'm not paying. This might be a very good reason to take. I I'm going to think this is a pass. I think it's a very good double. I would guess that I could win this game 25% of the time, but I get gammoned probably, I'm guessing 25%. So if 25% wins and 25% gammons, oh, by the way, I win gammons if I turn it around, no, maybe 10%. So that means my net gammon losses, 25 minus 10, are 15. That's worth 7.5. If my take point is 21.5, and I have to get 7.5 wins to cover the gammons, that means I have to win this game around 30% of the time, 29, 30% of the time. And again, I think I only win around 25%, so I think it's a pass. I'm going to pass, and now let's see how good I did on these estimates.
Drop.
I played at 4.2. Unbelievable. It's not unusual to play Paskogammon at 40. Okay, let's review. Take a look at the cube action first of all. It is a pass. I guess 25% wins and 25% gammons. Not bad. And I'm not cheating. I'm telling you, this is a result of playing Paskogammon a lot and doing these estimates. I guess that I win gammons 10% if I turn it around. That's a hard thing to do in positions like this. Who knows what the return gammons are? I just threw out 10%. But I did come up with the correct answer of a pass. Now, if you want to really learn something, let's see where I went wrong. What mistakes did I make? Pointing on them, I should have hit 2 instead of pointing on them. The logic behind that, I got to give some more thought to. I think this is outside my pay grade. I like pointing because it unstacked the 5 point as well. And why? I guess getting hit here is what you're trying to do and recirculate checkers and kill his timing um, uh, by doing this and maybe getting him to come off of some of those points. This is a lot more difficult play for me to really analyze properly. So I admit my ignorance here. My next mistake was this 6-5, and we already looked at that, and I understand the reason. Go ahead and leave the big shot now. He might not hit it, and if he does hit it, his board's not made yet. You're eventually going to have to leave the shot, probably as we did, and maybe his board would be better. So why not do it now? Also, Kit Woolsey wrote an article in 1993 about the importance of holding the midpoint. And as you can see, extreme gammon values the midpoint, and from both sides, holding the midpoint for outfield control. So that's a good lesson here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching Extreme Gammon and seeing how it played. And I hope you'll try it. You'll find it's a lot of fun. My recommendation is you go back to the opening position, which is this, and take a picture of it so you know how to set up the board. I've got a picture of it in my iPhone, and you'll know how to set up the board. So have fun, enjoy Paskogammon. Let me know about your experiences with it, and these kinds of variations I think are not just a total waste of time or just a fun diversion. They really will help you in when you get into regular backgame play, defending and playing backgame. They'll help you teach you about timing and counter timing and duplication and communication and holding the midpoint and you know and of course a lot about the doubling cube. And I recommend you do the same thing I did. Keep making estimates of wins and gammons. The more you do that, the better you'll be. Oh, a couple times I said I thought if I doubled it was a beaver. Let's go back to like this position right here. Let's see if it was a beaver. I'm right. It was a beaver. Uh, Blue is not only favored without holding the cube, but Blue's a favorite even though he gets gammon more. He's a favorite holding the cube. That makes it a beaver. So it would be a very, very, very bad double, and and if and Blue would be actually be making a huge mistake not to beaver. He's such a big favorite holding the cube. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested in lessons, go to www.thebackgammonlearningcenter.com. We have 22, I think we're up to, teachers now teaching in 9 different languages. We'll find you a great teacher online in your language, and someone who's highly skilled and trained. We have some of the best players in the world and certainly some of the best teachers in the world on our team. We've got a curriculum and a format for teaching that is second to none and has proven to work. Our students, many of our students have won major tournaments all over the world and are doing very well, have low PRs, and it works. It's a great program. So come see us and enjoy your backgammon. Bye-bye.